Live from the Spill Studios, broadcast over the internets, it's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
That good old intranet allows me to sit here in my drawers and watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force while I'm still recording with you.
Okay. I don't know which is worse, the fact that you're watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force or you're doing it in your drawers.
Man, add it both together. It's all good on this end. You have to witness it in order to appreciate it. So you're not here to see that. You're missing out, man.
I am missing out on your drawers.
This Skype has its benefits, but looking at it up here with I got my hand kind of stuffed in my pants, and I'm sitting up here just giggling at meat wad. It's good, man. Playing with my own meat wad. Man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I don't see you too much these days since there's not too many screenings. I saw you, Tuesday?
Yeah, no, it's been dead this week. The past few weeks, actually. Everything coming out, they don't want to screen it for us.
Yeah, they got Jennifer's Body coming out next week, and guess what? They don't want us to see that either.
Oh, they don't have a screening for it?
No, not that I know of. You know what?
Well, it's not that they don't want us to see it. It's Fox.
Oh, is that a Fox movie?
That's a Fox movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't get Fox
I'm pretty
anymore.
sure.
Yeah,
they're showing it. They showed it at a film festival last week.
Oh,
didn't get too hot.
Which one? We don't want Austin to see shit film festival?
No, I think they showed it at Telluride. Was that it?
Yeah, in Toronto. Yeah.
Or did it show in Toronto? Toronto's where
I think it showed in Toronto. Yeah, because I remember they're going to show that, and they're going to show that new zombie movie from George Romero. So, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, we're missing out on a lot of stuff.
Survival of the Dead. Yeah, we're getting that here in a few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's playing at the Fantastic Fest.
Man, I'm looking forward to Fantastic Fest. I think I might be able to obtain a press badge for that, and I'm going to try and cover a lot of stuff for that, in addition to what you guys are doing too, because I know you guys are going to be there for the whole thing.
Oh yeah, always, every year.
Yeah, the thing that really wants me to go, other than that, it's just a pretty cool festival, man. They got Rec 2 showing.
They've got Rec 2 is one of the many big premieres they've got. I know that Tim League worked really hard to get that. They fought him for a while, and he finally got it. So we have Rec 2 playing here in town. We've got that. We've got Survival of the Dead. We've got another zombie film. We've got Zombieland.
Oh, is Zombieland playing there?
Zombieland is playing. We've got Daybreakers. God, what else is playing? Solomon Kane. Antichrist is playing. B-13 Ultimatum is premiering here. Oh, God, there's so many big things that are just popping up at this one. Oh, we're getting a screening of Paranormal Activity.
Which one is Paranormal Activity?
It's the new Blair Witch. It premiered at a festival.
Is that the so-called sequel that they were going to do? Or
no, not at all. This is another Blair Witch in the sense that they made it for no money with video cameras, and it's about a haunted house. But the people who saw it about 2 years ago flipped the fuck out for it. They just lost their minds and said it's one of the scariest movies ever made. So I don't know if I'm going to buy into that hype yet, but I'm going to go check it out. So that'll be playing as well.
Yeah, you don't want to buy into the hype of that, because you remember how everybody was like, you saw the Blair Witch Project when there was little hype about it, and it kind of creeped you out or scared the shit out of you. And then people who knew about it afterwards and knew that it wasn't real or heard the story of it, they were like, man, that ain't scary. I don't know what was out. It was just boring. People yelling in the woods for an hour and a half. And so, so I'm like you, man. I don't want to hype myself up. But I'm looking forward to it, all these movies, man. Rec is one of my favorite movies, and I love that.
Yeah, I know.
REC, people, Rec. Watch that movie. It's good. And it's funny when you say Tim League. Tim League is a guy who and his wife, Carrie, they are the ones who own at least, they own one now?
No, three.
Alamo Drafthouse. Okay, so do they own... Because it's franchised out. How many do they own outside of Austin?
Well, the thing is the way it works is they own 3, and that's all they're ever allowed to own. They franchised out the rest.
Yeah. They got them all around the country now. And then they have one here that they franchised out to way up north in Austin, because they probably want to drive out there that shit, because I know I don't want to drive out there half the time. But yeah, those guys started the Alamo Drafthouse, and I can't imagine anybody fighting him for anything, man. It's funny when you say he had to fight for Rec 2. I see him trying to get the reel out of the director's hands, like exchanging punches with him and shit.
I don't know exactly what happened. I heard something about that the American distribution company, I think it's Sony that's distributing it, was all about showing it. That they're like, no, absolutely, we'd love you to show this. You guys have been big supporters of these films. And then they had, someone along the line in the ownership line was like, we don't want it to open up at a festival. I don't know the exact specifics, but I know that he was fighting for it. He really wanted it there, and he succeeded. So,
well, really God damn it, they got it now. And that's all that matters. And I'm looking forward to it. Exactly.
Oh, you'll finally get to see Trick or Treat.
Oh, are they showing Trick or Treat there?
Yeah, it's going to be one of the last theatrical screenings before it gets put on DVD.
God damn it, man. That is like okay, maybe I'll see the movie and I'll be like, oh, it's a good thing they did put this out on DVD because it's a piece of shit. But I keep looking at it and it looks really cool to me because you've seen it already like at last year's Fantastic Fest, right?
No, it played 2 years ago at Butnumathon.
Okay, yeah, I knew it showed somewhere here in Austin. And I keep hearing from a lot of people saying, wow, man, not since something like Creepshow has this been considered one of the most perfect Halloween movies to watch. And Warner Brothers just kind of dumped it onto DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, there's in talking to the director, Michael Dougherty, he said that there was that people had issues with the one of the sequences, which is a horror movie a horror sequence that involves kids. It involves children. And people have issues with violence against children. And the way it works in the movie, it totally works. It's a children's horror story. And it's about kids and what kids are scared of. But apparently the studio wasn't quite sure if it would play well. And it's going to be one of those things that they're going to be kicking themselves for years because it really is great. I predict it's going to do really well on DVD and continue on. But we'll talk about that more later when all of us see it and all of us get to review it together.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about some movies that are out right now. And
let's not talk about those.
That takes it to the top 5, my man.
The top 5 brought to you by Bill.
I had some winners from the top 5 and had some losers from the top 5. And I use the term winners loosely depending on how much money you think it takes to be a winner. But let's go ahead and get into number 5.
The number 5 film
is the definitive Final Destination. Still hanging in there, man.
One can only hope that it's the Final Destination.
Let's
be fucking honest.
We can hope, but after 3 weeks in the top 10 and making $58.3 million, we're going to see another one.
Probably.
Next one's going to be called the Final Destination, and we mean it this time. Unless we make a lot of money. That's going to be the next title of the movie.
They're going to call it The Next Final Destination.
And
or they should just, honesty in advertising, call it 12 more bucks you'll never see again.
Well, maybe the audience won't see that money anymore, but the studios make a lot of money with this. Now, this has been out for 3 weeks. The budget on this was $40 million. It has made $58 million, so it is going on its way to make profit. Brought in $5.5 million this weekend. So it's probably going to be the last weekend that it's in there, but it is hung on, and so far it's considered. Now, I haven't seen one Final Destination movie, so I'm not defending this movie or putting it down, but it's considered to be a winner. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens next year. It's going to become like the Saw series. I'm telling you, this is a new Saw series right here.
Except at least the Saw series is somewhat forgivable because they make them for no money, and they literally, it's like, look, we can't stop making them. They make too much money, but with the Final Destination series, it's just... oh, they're beating a dead horse. I fucking hate it. Well, let's move on to the number 4 movie.
All right. Damn, you're so mad. You didn't even sing number 4. You're like, let's move on to number 4.
Let's move on to number 5. Fuck this movie, seriously.
Okay, well, you might say that about the next movie, too. All About Steve is still in there.
I haven't seen it yet. And even still in there, didn't it premiere this weekend? Did it open this weekend or did it open last week?
We talked about it last week because we talked about how it just came out of nowhere because it's a Fox film. We don't really hear about Fox throwing movies our way now sometimes. They just sneak in there. They go through the back door and they're like, hey, here I am. And that movie made 21.
You're like the Corey Cole.
Yeah. No, studio. I'm usually running out the back door. Your husband's coming. Oh, shit. I got out of here. No, that is $21.8 million that it brought in. And it has made $5.8 million this weekend. And that's after 2 weeks. So I don't know how much money this movie made. When it came out, we also talked about this. Sandra Bullock's in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Critical disaster, they called it, but I think it's and it didn't open up very high. I think it opened up number 2, but not as high as they had hoped. So people are kind of on the fence about how successful this movie is. But 2 weeks in the top 5, and for a movie that just kind of, like I said, came out of nowhere, it's doing all right.
Well, it's a really bad month for movies. I mean, it normally is, but right now it's abysmal weekends.
Oh, man, I guess so, because a few weeks ago we had some good movies like number 3.
The number 3 film.
And that would be Inglourious Basterds finally passing the $100 million mark, which it has earned $104.3 million so far, cost $70 million to make, and has brought in $6.5 million this weekend. So movie is successful, very successful.
Way to go, Quentin.
Yeah, no, very well.
Can we really talk about this any fucking more? We've talked about it for a month now.
No, we cannot. The movie, but like we said, the movie's been successful for the Weinstein Studios, which they needed it very much, and so now they're staying afloat once again, thanks to Quentin Tarantino saving their big asses. So let's move on to number 2. I said number 9 because number 2 is number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
Okay, all right. So number 9 opened up actually on Wednesday of last week.
Yep.
So far, its total gross is $15.3 million. But this weekend, it brought in 10.9. So I don't know. You tell me, is that good for this kind of film? I don't know the budget on it.
I don't think it's very good. I mean, it's I know it didn't cost a whole lot, but for a film like this with Tim Burton's name on it, I think they were hoping to do better, but nobody was counting on this doing well. It was really one of those films that everybody just kind of shrugged at.
Yeah, I heard that it fell into expectations and predictions, but you know how studios are when sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we lost some shit money on this, but then they'll come back and say, yeah, this falls within our predictions. It's not a failure, and they don't really mean that, so it was kind of hard for me to tell with this. But hey, you know what? I don't think it's not considered a bomb, so good for them. And you know what? For a movie like this, that was a hard sell, man. I think they're lucky to get $15.3 million in.
Yeah, I don't know if they're lucky because there is that kind of contingent of Tim Burton lovers out there that will see anything his name's on. I don't think a lot of them came out to this, but enough of them did. Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little later because I got some questions to ask you about this. But let's move on to number 1.
The number 1 movie of the week.
Oh, boy, sing it. Damn. Putting that soul in there. Y'all see me. I'm dancing in my little whitey tighties right now. We have Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad all by myself.
Yes, Tyler Perry can.
Yes, you can, except when it comes to money, he's doing outstanding. This motherfucker has made one consecutive number 1 hit after another. Now, of varying degrees, because some of his films have made more money than others, even though they've been in the number 1 position. This movie is kind of seen as the mid-range film for Tyler Perry movies, because while this one is number 1 with $24 million, his last movie, Medea Goes to Jail, made 41, and I think the one before that, The Family That Prays Together, that made like 17 million is what it debuted with. So I don't know. Either way it goes, you know, your position sometimes speaks for itself. He'll put out about, 50 more movies this year, and they'll all be number 1 because black women love these films. And he is one of those rare cases, man. Now, you tell me what you think of this. He is a very lucky son of a bitch. He has his audience locked. And he can release some of the shittiest movies or one of the greatest movies, but it doesn't matter because those black women, which is pretty much every black woman in the world, I think black women from Africa fly over here to see his movies. They pay to see this film and make him number 1.
I wouldn't call it luck at all. I mean, it's lucky that somebody finally put money behind him and distributed his first film and took a gamble on the African-American audience, but because it was against common wisdom. You just don't put out, no budget black films. But no, I wouldn't call it luck at all from that point on because he knows his audience and he gives them exactly what they want. I mean, is there a scene in this where they end up in church?
Man, church is in the theater. They actually stop the movie and a sermon happens. I mean, a preacher comes out, you know what I mean?
He knows his audience. He nails them. He knows exactly what they want. He knows exactly what they want to get out of the film. They get exactly what they want. And that's the thing about black audiences, too, is black audiences are very different than white audiences. They go in with certain expectations, and that's what they want. And if you give that to them, they'll walk out happy.
Yeah, no, they did. And when I
White
say
audiences are much bitchier when it comes to things. If you give them exactly what they expected, they're like, you know what? I guess it's all right. It was kind of what I expected it to be.
it was very predictable.
Exactly, and so, but he picked his audience. He narrowed in on what that audience wanted, and he keeps putting that out time and again. He makes his movies for no money and makes a lot of money. That's that's success. Is he ever going to make a $200 million movie? No, but he doesn't need to, because he makes 5 $50 million movies.
You don't ever see him directing like $100 million, like a Black Trek movie, like the black version of Star Trek or something.
I see somebody trying that at some point and it failing and him going back to what works. Yeah. But really, he's so smart. Everything I've seen of what he does, he knows exactly what he's doing. He does not take any big risks. He doesn't try throwing good money after bad. He makes low budget films that hits his target audience and tries to make them as good as he can. I mean, sometimes he succeeds and sometimes he fails based upon the audience. I mean, I can't say it because I don't watch his films anymore. He's one of those filmmakers where it's like, oh, I know what he's doing and it's not aimed at me. I don't get it. So, but sometimes the audience digs it. Sometimes they don't. But he's not in a sliding pattern right now. He's not getting worse and worse. His movies are all over the map. Some of them are really good. Some of them aren't. So people keep coming back hoping the next one is one of the good ones.
No, every movie is the same. As much as I want to defend Tyler Perry, because, hey, when I said he was lucky, I just mean he's a fortunate guy. I mean, who wouldn't love to be in his position, whether you're making movies or not? But this guy, he knew what he was doing. And I'm sure the studio saw his audience before they ever made a movie with him, which is why they made a movie with him. I mean, when he had his movies playing on the so-called Chitlin circuit, I mean, his plays, not his movies, I'm sorry. His plays were raking in money before he ever got behind the camera. And I'm sure as a studio executive, you see this and you're thinking, this guy has his audience, which is ready to cross over to any film that he makes. So, you know what? I've always said Tyler Perry is one of the greatest business guys that I've known, and I really would love to just follow his model. But at the same time, he's just one of the most bland filmmakers I know too. So, unless you love his movies and you're that audience, so we'll see what happens with his next movie, which will be the same fucking movie as it was before. But anyway, man, what's going on? How you doing?
I am doing well, I guess. I mean, I'm doing all right.
Did you get your Wii?
I have my Wii. In fact, we have interrupted Wii playing for a Coco.
So you actually went that night to Walmart.
I went that night to Walmart and bought
goddamn Wii. Did you?
I bought that goddamn Wii, and I've been playing that goddamn Wii.
Now, did you see any of the shit that we saw on that Walmart site? Like, was it as weird as we saw on that site?
You know, there were a few people that really skirted the lines, and I was glad I didn't have a camera because I would have been, a camera phone, because I would have been tempted to take pictures, but none of them were really lived up to people of Walmart.com. But but there were some people there where it's really like, you get the typical, the 300-pound woman in that's trying to rock the thong and the mini skirt. And it's like,
man.
honey,
that woman works at Walmart. Or lives at Walmart. I mean, that woman is always there. But yeah, I'm glad. Well, so what are you playing on your Wii right now then?
Well, there's a number of things that I'm playing. Me and my wife are really into Rayman Rabid Rabbits. I don't know if you've played any of the Rayman games.
Oh, that's the guy who, like, his hands are not connected to his body. Rayman. Yeah. I remember good old Rayman. Now he's fucking around with rabbits, huh?
Yeah, he's got these. They're party games essentially. I mean, you play them they're a one-player game, but you just pass the controller around and try to beat all these different really weird mini games. Like the first one is the one I have, and there's like 70 mini games that you have to beat, and you progress through, and they're all just really weird stuff. And it's, one time you're doing a dancing game, and the next game you're running, and the next game you're hunting all these rabbits in an old west town with a plunger gun, and it's insanity, but it's silly, fun insanity, and so me and my wife like it a lot.
Okay, so you play a lot with your wife on the Wii, I guess.
Well, that was the whole point of getting it.
Yeah. Because I was going to ask you, like, Nintendo, is great, man, for what they've done here. They found their niche in the middle of these console wars. For anybody who knows about video games, we got three major consoles out there. We have the Xbox, we have the PS3, and then we have the Wii. Now, Xbox and PS3, those are kind of geared towards hardcore gamers, people that play like the first-person shooters and action games, and they have like 50 buttons that your grandmother, she'd have a heart attack trying to figure that out. However, the Wii comes out, and it's very simple, and also combines you actually having to be active with the game. You have to like make that motion sensor move around, so you're moving around with the game.
Yeah, in a lot of the games.
Not all of them, but many of them. Which brings me to my point here. That is fun when you are playing around with a group of people or your family, because even old people love this. They buy Wiis for old folks home to keep them active and moving around, which I think is wonderful, man. God bless Nintendo. But when I'm sitting, like I don't have a Wii, but I've played like Wii Sports, and I've even played what is the Wii exercising game?
Wii Fit?
Wii Fit, yes. And I'm picturing myself in there moving like on that little board and swinging that thing around, that controller. And I'm thinking, man, I would feel like a goddamn fool doing this by myself at home.
Well, it depends on what game you're playing.
Yeah. No, it's good, though.
Because, like, I picked up a couple different things. Like, that's the one that I play with my wife all the time. We got another one called Onochinabra, Bikini Zombie Killers.
Oh, now that sounds like my kind of game. Now you're getting it.
You would love it. It's about you play one of two girls, and you can play cooperative, so two can play at a time. And you swing your Wii like a sword, and that swings your sword. And then you use the nunchuck to do kicks and to move yourself around. And you play these two really hot girls that are wearing next to nothing, because the idea is that their power comes from the skin contact that they have with demon blood. And so the more skin they have exposed, the more blood that can touch their body, the more powerful they are. So they run around half naked, and you run around half naked with a katana slicing up zombies.
All right. So you're controlling the girls.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ever like make them turn around and start taking the top off and sticking their ass up in the air and all that kind of stuff? Can you make them play with themselves?
That's a different game.
Oh, okay. Damn. I don't want to think anymore.
That usually doesn't involve a video game controller.
I'd lose that game in a minute, because I put that controller down and start playing with myself. I cannot. Now, see, that's the thing about Wii. I'm wondering when they start bringing out these nasty games that are really kind of interactive with people. And I'm not even making a joke here. I'm like, I wonder if Nintendo will ever try to tap that market.
I doubt it, especially with the market that they're going after.
Yeah,
their success has come from the fact that the thing about the Wii was they did not soup up the power. It's the same. It's just as powerful as the GameCube is. They use the same technology. They just redesigned the interface. Mm-hmm. And that was the genius of it, because rather than making a game for hardcore gamers, they made a game system for moms, and that moms could play with their kids. Mm-hmm. And so they've focused on family titles. They do have some adult titles. Like one of the other games I play is Masamura, the Demon Blade. And it's not a kid's game. It's a really cool 2D side-scroller kind of pseudo-RPG. It's a really badass Japanese film that they didn't even translate the language. It comes up in subtitles. But that's a really fun game, and that's not like family oriented. But that and Onochinabra is kind of like the upper end of where they really go on this system, because they really, they got burned really bad with Triple X BMX Triple X. Do you remember that?
Is that a game where you're having sex with girls while going up the hills on a BMX bike and all that kind of stuff? Not
exactly.
Okay, then I don't remember that.
It's a game in which you they called it Triple X, but it wasn't. It's where it was like the Tony Hawk series. You remember how they had the Tony Hawk games? Where you could be the BMX bikers or the various other things. Well, the BMX series, this was just like that, except you were a girl riding around on a bike, and as you got further and further, your clothes came.
Yeah, go ahead.
You could unlock mini videos of strippers dancing in a strip club at Scores, and they got really burned because Walmart decided that they weren't going to carry the game.
Yeah, and even with the games and you're right, even with the games that they have that Walmart can carry that are mature titles, rated M, the Wii has really put itself in a corner, for better or for worse, where it is a family system, and because they've had some titles that have come out that have been rated M, which Resident Evil 4 was on that title. Was on that console, and they had another one. It was in black and white. It was a fighting game where you went around and and the only thing that was colored in the game was blood. You went around.
Oh, Madhouse.
Yeah.
That's for the Wii.
Yeah. Is that the game I'm thinking of, where you're like trapped in a city and the only way to get out it's like a game show, and you have to go around fighting people. Yeah, you have to
go around killing everybody, and there's all those creative ways to kill people.
Yeah. Game got excellent ratings. Critics loved it. They thought it was a good-looking game for the Wii too, except that it didn't do too well on the Wii because it was on the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of your hardcore gamers are not buying the Wii. They're going back to their own consoles, but a lot of families are buying the Wii.
Yeah, what's weird is that game came up. I asked several of my friends and online friends to send me a list of the must-own games, the games that I need to get to play with my wife, and the games that I would really want. And that game was recommended by all but one person recommended it. And that was I haven't picked it up yet because I've got these other games I'm playing, the ones I've talked about, and then I'm really into Blazing Angels. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Heard of it, but have not played it, or have not seen any gameplay from it.
World War II flight simulator action game, and it's really cool because you use the nunchuck like a flight stick. So that's how you control, by moving it around like you'd use a flight stick, and it's really kind of cool. I like it a lot.
So does your controller come with the string that keeps it attached to your hand, so you don't throw that shit across the room?
Yeah, they all come with that now.
Yeah, I remember.
And they also all come with this like rubber jacket that helps protect it, helps it bounce off of televisions.
Oh, okay. I thought the rubber jacket came for you. I was like, what kind of shit are you playing? You about to drown trying to play a Wii in the house? What are they doing? That's a little bit too interactive with me. So it's rubber. You're talking about like a rubber handle, like a protective coating for the controller.
Like a Wii condom, yeah.
Okay, like a Wii. And how often do you have to change those? So, man, I am going to talk about 9 right here with you real quick because, man, I have to admit, we did our review, and all of us were, the only one that really liked it was Cyrus. The rest of us, you and I liked it. We said a matinee, and Leon said a rental. So everybody was kind of just, it's okay, except for Cyrus. But I was really hoping that the movie would do well because I'm trying to think of some PG-13 CG animated films that have come out before that, and I can't really think of any. Can you? At least here in America.
Nothing's coming to mind, but then again, I rarely pay attention to the rating like that. So I can't, nothing American made that I can think of.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking, you know something, if this movie had been really successful, it probably would have opened the door for more mature animated films of that caliber. And I was rooting for the movie because of that reason. But now it's like, I guess that's not going to happen.
I don't really think anybody's going to use this as some sort of measure because if this were a really good one that got neglected, then you could use that as I can't even think of the word now. Use it as a marker, but you can't with this one because the ending sucks. You know, it's a good film that the ending just goes,
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. If this had been like a better film, had it done financially better, I think that would have like kind of opened the doors. And you know me, I'm always up for people doing different things, and I usually see that done in the areas of animation. And I would have thought, man, I really am tired of the talking animal films and the family films, and because they're all kind of the same, with a few exceptions, of course. And I think, if Pixar ever wanted to go that route, maybe they could get away with it. But Pixar is going to they've got too much of a reputation, like the Wii, for being a family organization. So,
yeah, you know the thing is though, we're getting to the point in technology that we don't really need animated films anymore to be adult. You know, there was that period of time when we really wanted, adult animation because there were things you couldn't do. But now CG has gotten to the point to where you can do pretty much anything you want with computers and create any kind of environment. And we effectively have what would be an animated film with live action actors at times. Like you look at Avatar. Mm-hmm. Avatar is something that you would have had to have done animated if you did it any time before this decade.
Yeah.
But now they can actually do it. and they were able to accomplish that. And here's what looks to be a really great story that's going to be PG-13 and is going to be violent and it's going to have everything that we want out of it. So I don't know if we really need big market, mass market adult animation anymore.
Yeah, I've thought of that too. I just kind of just like the look of animation sometimes, even when it's with characters. I just kind of like the exaggerated look. But I've often thought of the same thing. Yeah, a long time ago that you can only do all this stuff in animation, and now we're seeing it done with live action. So yeah, I see your point there, man. But anyway, that's all I got, man. You got anything?
Not particularly. Nothing screams out. I was going to talk about owning a Wii, but we kind of covered that.
I beat you on that. I knew you playing that Wii. In fact, before I even called, I knew you were playing with that Wii. I said, he's got this Wii right now. That's why he's at home. That's why he ain't doing shit. Because you're like, yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. We can do it late. We can do it early. I'm good whenever. I was like, yeah, because you playing that fucking Wii right now.
And the thing is, I didn't play Wii all day. I only played for about an hour and a half tonight with my wife.
And y'all played that rabbit game?
Yeah.
Now, how does she like it? Is she playing because you making her play, or and you bugging her to play, or is she playing because she really likes it?
No, she's playing because she really likes it. Like right when before we started recording, she came in to ask why I had to leave. She came in to ask me how she can play Rampage Total Destruction, and I had to show her how.
Like she's fiending right now. Like she's addicted.
Yeah, she's like, I want to play a video game, and you're recording, so I'm going to play Rampage without you.
She's at the doorway right now, looking at you with snot coming out of her nose and slobber coming out of her mouth, and waiting for you to come join her like a crackhead. I'm ready to play Wii. Hurry up, Carla. That's
I don't like that. It's supposed to snot coming out.
Yeah, she's addicted, man.
I don't know what kind of girls you've been dating, man, but Jesus Christ,
crackheads.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Times are hard, man. The recession is hitting everything, even quality ass. So I am sitting here looking at some stuff. And speaking of animation, here's some things that sound kind of cool, and they sound kind of making me think like maybe I don't want to see this at the same time. I've been getting into the Beatles lately, man. And
and everyone else in the world.
I've always loved the Beatles, but never been like a Beatles fanatic. I've never said, I got to have every album. I got to know everything about the Beatles. When I hear a Beatles song, I like it. But I was at the grocery store one night, and I was reading this Rolling Stone article, because sometimes when I go grocery shopping, I'll stop and I'll read some stuff, put it back on the rack, and just leave. But I was reading...
Because you don't want to pay for it.
Because, no, you don't. I mean, I get all this shit I need off the internet. I don't want to pay for a magazine now, but that article right there... And it really drew me in.
It was almost worth paying for.
And it was worth paying for. I paid for it. It was a Rolling Stone article about the breakup of the Beatles. And everybody's seen this cover, I'm sure, by this point. And you think you know well, I'm sure if you're a Beatles aficionado, which is like 50% of the world population, and there's a lot of people who have read these books about the Beatles, and they know all this inside information about them. But I just got a nice condensed version of what led up to the Beatles breakup. And it was one big article about Yoko Ono. No, it was like several factors that were in there besides Yoko Ono, which that's the first thing they want to say. And it was really cool to read that, and it kind of really brought me into like wanting to buy the Beatles more albums now and more music, and just fascinated me for some reason. I mean, it really is like a big breakup story between almost to the point where it's like a guy and a girl. But so I was looking up stuff about the Beatles a little bit more online, and I ran across this article where they said that they are going to remake Yellow Submarine, except they're going to do, I think, motion capture, and Robert Zemeckis is going to direct it. And Robert Zemeckis has been into this whole motion capture thing ever since like the Polar Express and Beowulf. And I'm looking at the Polar Express, and the biggest problem with that is that people said, you really haven't perfected the look of people's faces, and these characters kind of like zombies. And even in Beowulf, it got better. But what I don't want them to do is bring back like John Lennon and George Harrison and have like try to replicate like the Beatles, like recreate the actual Beatles to do this.
But I think they kind of have to. I mean, here's something that really doesn't need to happen. I mean, honestly, do they need to? You know me. I am all about the remake. I totally get what the point to a remake is, but there are certain things that remaking it is absolutely pointless, because the whole point to Yellow Submarine is that it's this really great psychedelic animated experience of art from the 60s. It's very much what was going on at the time. It's very much the way the art style was. Recreating it with 3D animation, what is that really going to do? Is it unless they hire some of the greatest digital artists in the world to come in and just go, look, make something really psychedelic, make what the Beatles music inspires you to think of, go nuts, we're going to take this album, we're going to take